Yes. Welcome back, people. Channel is back. Me and Lee are back. Arsenal Wolves to discuss. Michael Oliver to talk about transfer window that is apparently closing soon. I didn't know it was open, but apparently it is. There's a few days to go until that closes. We're going to talk about as well. And big up to everybody in the chat. Before we do go any further, I want to say a huge thank you to those that did come out on Friday night at the Hippodrome Casino, including yourself, Lee, and everyone in the panel that has come and said hello. It was a great night, really went well, and we're definitely going to look to do some more stuff towards the summer with the Hippodrome and other venues as well. So if you did come along, thank you. I want to say a huge thank you to that, and also to let people know if you did enjoy it, so we can start getting some more people out, because it'd be good to meet and greet so many of you. It really was good to put names to faces, because all we do, me and Lee, is see names in this panel and in this chat, and I have absolutely no idea. I mean, there's some people rocking up going, all right, and it took them about 3 minutes to say who they were. And I thought, oh, of course I know who you are now. So, yeah, I always find that. You must get that loads as well, Lee.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But great night.
Night.
Very, very good night. Very good night.
Yeah, it was indeed, mate. Look, luckily we had a good night on the Friday and we had a good laugh. Now we can celebrate 3 points, that's for sure. We're going to get into some of the performances as well as this incident, but we might as well talk about it. It's the elephant in the room. It's what's been discussed for the whole of the last 24 to 48 hours, and it's something that I must say is being spoken about now on the Sky Sports pundits, because there has been some abuse attached to it. Now, for those that don't know, we're talking about Michael Oliver, and according to Romano, this has come out from PGMOL. We are appalled by the threats and abuse directed at Michael Oliver following the Wolves v Arsenal fixture. No official should be subject to any form of abuse, let alone the abhorrent attacks aimed at Michael and his family over the past 24 hours. Police are aware and a number of investigations have commenced. We are supporting Michael and all those affected and are determined to tackle this unacceptable behaviour. Sadly, this is not the first time a match official has been forced to deal with threats in recent times. We will continue to support all investigations. Judges, I want to come to that first of all, because we are going to go into the incident. I want to get your thoughts on it all as well. But I just wanted to get your thoughts now on the media coming out, the pundits speaking on it. It kind of feels like now we all have to now feel sorry for people. Now, I'm not saying that it's right what's happened. It's obviously disgraceful and disgusting. But this does happen to footballers, to celebrities and to famous people. And unfortunately, to us, not that we are celebrities or famous people, but we get quite a lot of abuse and received and threats as well. I've had threats to my family and my house and even though I don't have sons and daughters, they like to threaten them. People, I've had that before, and threats to myself. So unfortunately, it does come to this in this kind of field. It is wrong. It is disgusting, and it needs to stop. And I think that's a social media thing. It is the absolute keyboard warriors on social media. And it seems now that the pundits have kind of gone towards that. What I don't want that to do is to take away the poor officiating that we have seen. And I know that people might think that maybe I've come across wrong there, or maybe people might think that I'm justifying why he's been given abuse and threats. That's not what I'm doing. I don't think that should be the talking point now. I think what we need to do is think, right, there's a keyboard warrior online who's a twat, and he clearly is a scumbag, and hopefully they nick him and get him dealt with. But actually, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the bad officiating. There isn't just Michael Oliver, there is Anthony Taylor and quite a few of them. Because the incident yesterday, I still don't quite understand it. Not only do I not understand the Lewis-Skelly decision, I don't understand how the João Gomez one is a yellow card, second yellow, it's a red. Well, clearly it's a straight red if Lewis-Skelly's getting caught with a red for that one. So there's a lot to discuss there and a lot to kind of open up and engage, judges. You were at the game, I was not, and I always like that. Normally we were at the games together, but it's quite nice sometimes when you go and I don't, because you see different things and you feel different emotions. So talk to me about how you're feeling about this at the moment, because there's a lot of people that got angry about it.
Yeah, listen, first and foremost, abusing his family and threatening him and everything like that is wrong. It shouldn't be done. And at the end of the day, the keyboard warriors that have done that, probably some 15-year-old kid or whatever, needs to be sorted out and punished for that, but don't hide behind that facts. and try and make it all about Michael Oliver's the victim and Michael Oliver this, Michael Oliver that. Like the reason that he should be criticised for what he is because he's a cheat, right? That's what he is. He is a cheat. I don't care saying it. He's a disgrace. Those sort of things I can say, and I will say. And how if Howard Webb tried to defend him, you don't want to. He wants to keep the game flowing. That's why he didn't send off the Manchester City player against Arsenal. But he don't want it when it comes to Arsenal. I want to hear from Howard Webb and say why is he so willing not to send other players off, but can't wait to send Arsenal players off. That's the first thing I want to hear from him. Not we don't want all this and don't want to we are about this. Come out and say that the man has got it wrong and he's out of order, and we're not perhaps going to punish him, but we're going to turn around and say to him at the end of it, this is what's happened, and this is you've done wrong, and that's it. It was wrong. What you done was wrong. It's never a sending off. I'm glad in some way, right? I'm glad in some way that the other sending off come then, because it highlights how poor and how corrupt and how he is. Because that is 100 times worse than the Miles Lewis-Skelly one. Miles worse, and he just books him for that in the same game. So you talk, it can happen one game. It's the same referee booking one player, which is 100 times worse, and you want to try and stick up for that. You want to try and make that right. No. At the end of the day, now when they turn around and say, we don't want our referees abused and we don't want all of this, like, you know what I mean? I don't want myself and my fellow fans being cheated out of games every time he referees a game for us, Dan. And it's not the first time. We can go on and on and on, right? You know, you go on about the Manchester City game. He done it over there when he sent Trossard off. Had the opportunity to send that Gomez off way earlier before he tried to break Timber's leg. You know what I mean? Like, but when he kicked the ball 40 yards, didn't do it. Now, at the end of the day, this is what we're saying. Like, you know, now at the end, listen, I'm never going to want to wish ill health on the person or whatever. But if you were asking my opinion of what I think of him as a ref, he's crap. He's cheats, and he isn't the good referee. That's my opinion, and it is based on facts. That every time I keep seeing this, my mate turned around and said, "You watch him do something in this game before." I've got it on text. You wait, he'll do something in this game to F us. Oh, you know, no, he's not like that. Again, he's done it again, and this time it's even worse, where you can't even. There's no justification because. You go back to other incidents that we've had, not just with Oliver. I can see why it was given. I can see this and see that. I've not seen one pundit, one opposition fan, anybody turn around and say that is a sending off. No one. Everybody's going, it's not. We all know it's not. So why has he not given? Now, at the end of it, what is VAR there for and all, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, because they apparently can't get involved because it's not clear and obvious, like, you know. But it's clear and obvious when they only book when he gets the two bookings. Now, at the end of the day, as it stands, right, and this is, you feel so sorry for Michael Oliver as much as you like, right? He'll be reffing next week, right? Next game he'll be reffing. Miles Lewis-Skelly will be banned for 3 games, right? Gomez 1. Oliver will be refereeing next week, right? I don't want him ever refereeing an Arsenal game ever again. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, he doesn't referee us. He referees us differently to he referees everybody else. Because I tell you why. 2 incidents. Watch that incident. And watch the one where he refereeing against Manchester City when Kovacic does Declan Rice. The first foul on Odegaard is a sending off if he does that. But no, that's just a booking. Then he does the one to Declan Rice and he lets him off. I don't see that sort of leniency when it's Arsenal. I don't see that leniency when it's Martinelli with the two bookings at Molineux a little while ago, like, yeah. And I don't see the leniency this time around with it here. I don't see the leniency and the benefit of the doubt when Xhaka gets sent off at Liverpool. Probably is a sending off, but when he's letting other teams off, why is he not letting Arsenal off? That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, there's enough evidence now to say that you do not referee Arsenal like you do other teams. Now, before we go, it's all about Arsenal. It's not. Wolves have been on unbelievably bad decisions from VAR, from whatever, over the last 6 months, year. Some horrendous ones, Dan, right? Not one Wolves fan come up to me yesterday and said, you know what, all the crap we've had, we deserve that, Lee. Not one of them. They turned around and said, it's crap, it's rubbish. We goes into the services at the end of the halfway down, bump into a load of Ipswich fans, yeah? They've just been smashed by Liverpool 4-1. What was the game like? Totally outclassed, you know what I mean? The gap between us and Liverpool, they're a fantastic team, is brilliant, like, you know. But you know, one thing I'm looking forward to get back in the Championship for? I went, what's that? We won't have to have VAR. That's what they were saying. They said it was much better watching football, and they enjoyed their football much, much more when there's no VAR. And that's from Ipswich fans that are not worried about getting pumped 4-1 and all that, like, you know what I mean? They're more, let's get back to the Championship. Not worried about winning games, enjoying their football, Dan. Enjoying watching their football. Now, I went to that game yesterday and I watched not a very good game of football, right? If I'll be honest, it wasn't a great game. And then I see what I see. And it is the most horrendous decision I've seen since Oliver done it to Martinelli. Have you ever seen another player be booked twice for one thing? Never. And I'll tell you what, you'll never see another player booked for that, like, you know. And do you know what makes it more ridiculous, Dan, right? When you have that idiot Howard Webb saying, oh, he likes to keep players on the pitch. He likes to keep it on and all that. Like, have a look how quick he makes a decision to send him off there. Have a look. This is a referee that likes to keep players on the pitch according to his boss. You know what I mean? Like, you know, since he has been in charge, Howard Webb, it's a shambles. It is ridiculous. I ain't enjoying my football no more, Dan. Not enjoying it because of incompetence like this. Now, I don't care. I will say it as it is. As a professional referee, Oliver is finished as far as I'm concerned. And I'll slag him off as much as I like, right? I won't go personal and attack his family and everything like that. Like, and if I see him in the street, I'd walk across the road. I wouldn't abuse him like that. Like, you know what I mean? But for me, he deserves every little bit of criticism that he gets as a referee. How he has got the brand of being the best referee in the league is beyond me. It is beyond me. If he is the best referee that we've got in this country, God help us. We need more than VAR. We need Jesus Christ coming back and refereeing games, because it is ridiculous. If that is the number one referee. He ain't the number one referee, by the way. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want him anywhere near an Arsenal game again. And I'll tell you what, people go, oh, you can't say that. Alex Ferguson said it about Clettenburg, right? And I tell you what, now, I guarantee that he won't be refereeing Arsenal next week or the week after. I'll tell you that now, like, you know, he won't be, refereeing the game. Now, just my final thing in this, and when people go, oh, there's nothing about conspiracies and all that, like, two conspiracies, right? Now, Miles Lewis-Skelly is banned for 3 games, right? Now, at the end of the day, we can cover that. But what happens if Calafiori has to now get injured and we can't manage his minutes and whatever? Our next 2 games, Manchester City at home, the team that he's been paid for to go on holidays for. And after that, on the Wednesday, Newcastle United, the team that he supports. All right, they're 2-0 up, but you know what I mean? Whatever. I'm not saying there is, Dan. But when you look at it and you see what he's doing, people can put two together. And that's it, like, Listen, I don't condone anything about abuse and all that, like, but criticise as much as you like. And I'll tell you what, we won the game, so we're more important that we can do it and say it. For me, I don't want to ever see, I don't ever want to see with my eyes him refereeing a game what I attend, because I don't like to be cheated. Like he don't like to be abused by his family and all of them saying like that. I agree with it, like, but I don't like to see a cheating my football team out of performances and results when I'm spending our own cash and everybody going up there yesterday to see what he done to try and ruin us and get us out of a game of football. And I don't care what anybody says. The evidence is clear now that he referees Arsenal differently. End of.
Let me ask you quick before I go come in on a different segment is, what do you make of Jamie Carragher and Jamie Redknapp talking earlier on Sky Sports? I don't know if you've seen it. Obviously,
No,
they
I haven't
agree
seen
that
it,
the
but what
abuse
are
is
they
terrible. And it is terrible. You should never have that, right,
Yes.
for any person. I agree with that. But then they went on to say that Jamie Redknapp's exact words were, he's by far the best referee in the league. There's no one that comes near him. He's better than anything that's out there. And he's made a mistake, and hopefully Arsenal get it rescinded, I think he said, or he thinks they will get it rescinded if they do appeal for it. I actually don't think we will, by the way, even if we do appeal for it. I think they'll stick up for Mike or Oliver, especially now after all this. So what do you make of Jamie Redknapp's comments there? He's by far the best referee. Why has he said that? Why has he not just said the abuse is really bad, he's made a mistake, and something that's for social media to start? Why has he gone on to then feel? I mean, it's obviously his opinion, which I'm not saying is wrong or right. I don't agree with it, but do you think that's a bit extreme? That by far the best referee in the league?
If he's by far the referee, then every other ref is horrendous. He might be the best referee when he's refereeing Manchester City and Liverpool or whatever, but he ain't when he referees Arsenal, when the proof's there. The proof is there, Jamie Redknapp, that he is not the best referee when he referees Arsenal, because he continues to make mistakes, like not sending Kolovich off, right? Yeah, continuing by doing what he's done today, right? Yeah, not sending Gomez off, giving him a yellow card today. Don't tell me he's the best referee when you see mistake after mistake after mistake. You know what I mean? Like, So for me, Jamie Redknapp, you know what I mean, gone right down on my. He ain't one of the best pundits in football anyway. Like, you know what I mean. If I'll be really honest, I've got no respect for him from that side of it. Like, that's my opinion. I don't think he's in the same league as a Gary Neville and as a Roy Keane, and that's why he's been gradually sort of phased out when he was like quite regular at one stage. Now, like, you know what I mean, when everybody wants an holiday, he comes in, like, got no time for it. So, you know what I mean, like, say about the abuse, say about this, 100% agree with that. Like, best referee. If he thinks he's the best referee by a country mile, well, you know what I mean. There you go.
It's a worry. It really is. Look, I don't really care about how good he is and where he ranks in the Premier League. I don't agree with the abuse. I think you could definitely 100% and absolutely should criticise. I don't think you should ever abuse. And I think that's the same way as far as our field and any other field. I think you can criticise in any profession. I don't think you should ever abuse. I think there's good doctors, there's good policemen, there's good teachers, but trust me, there's bad ones as well. And I think that you can criticise somebody in their profession, but you should never abuse them. When I look at what Michael Oliver has done, I did a show on my channel about, was he corrupt? Is he corrupt? Why people believe it? And I went through the incidents, and it is just so bizarre that he has sent now 8 Arsenal players off, more than any other Premier League team. And by the way, they don't come close. It's not like he sent 8 off for us and 7 for Everton and 6 for Brighton. He sent 2 off, I think, for one for the next, and I think that is Everton. Everybody else has been like nowhere near it. When it comes to Arsenal, 8 red cards. Some of the incidents you've mentioned, I've never seen a sending off like that yesterday in my life. I don't know if I ever will again. I've certainly not seen the Martinelli one. I know that Diogo Dalot did get one last season against Manchester United, Liverpool. There was a scenario where I think that happened similarly. I don't know if it was the exact identical for like Martinelli, but it was quite similar from what I hear. But I just do not understand how you can be in a position where you believe that Lewis-Skelly should be given a straight red for that. It's just absolutely ludicrous. I'm not trying to, and this is the thing, I don't mean any Arsenal fan, Lee, correct me if I'm wrong, is trying to say that that was an outstanding tackle from Lewis-Skelly. I don't think any Arsenal fan is saying that was a wonderful, world-class, well-timed defensive
No,
tackle and
far
we should
from it.
move forward, right? So let's get that right. But I have never seen that. I've never seen a red card given for that. And I'll tell you what I haven't seen is tackle red. Never.
No.
I've seen tackle. Oh, give me a minute. Was that a bad one? Not too sure. I've seen that before, but I haven't seen tackle. Off you go. Hang on, whoa, the guy's not even got up. What's what's happening here? Like we haven't even. It was no time whatsoever. He couldn't wait to get his cards out, and that's the problem I've got. Is it's so right. And then what's even disappointing is it's gone to VAR because I didn't think it did from when yesterday after Raw after the incident. I thought surely that's not even gone to it, and they've gone. Yeah, that's not clear and obvious. Well, we'll agree with Michael. We think that's right. Then what happens is in the yellow card that he first gets, he's then on a yellow card and he goes in on Timber more dangerously than Lewis-Skelly and gets a second yellow. And if I'm honest with you, that made him look even more silly.
Yes.
That made him look even more corrupt and silly. That did. Because that's basically like saying, right, I've just seen two incidents, one on your side and one on your side. What are you going to do? Well, I've got to send him off because it's a straight red, just like Miles Lewis-Skelly's. No. I'm going to make a completely different decision on that one. Just have a game off, son. Don't worry. You won't miss three. He will, but you won't. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So I don't care that people are now saying that, this is Arsenal crying. And I've been one of those. Arsenal cry about referees. I think it's wrong, personally. I still do, that we cry when we don't get things wrong. But I'm going to make this point of it now. Arsenal won yesterday. Yeah. So it ain't we cry when we lose or we drop points because we're still getting pissed off of it now. We're calling out incompetence. That's what it is. Inconsistencies, poor refereeing decisions that happened over the weekend. People think it's just happening in our game. This is happening across the whole of the league, Lee. This ain't just our games. This is happening in the whole of it has been nothing short of shambolic for the best part of 2 seasons. And it is worse because what's actually happened is with this VAR thing is it has assisted the referees in one way, making them look like a bunch of clowns. That's what VAR has done. It's highlighted that they're incompetent. It's not highlighted their errors to say, oh, look, now you can correct them. It's highlighted the errors and said, what are you going to do about it? And the decision is we're going to just do nothing because we're incompetent. So you're right about the Ipswich fans, and I know a lot of Championship fans, and I'll agree that in the Carabao Cup, it's bloody lovely. No VAR, beautiful. I could celebrate the Jesus goal, even though it was offside against Palace, but I could celebrate it because there's no VAR. So let's be real. It is poor. It's bad officiating. And Michael Oliver, who all the Man City fans hate us because of it, because apparently they hate Michael Oliver as well, because he's terrible for them also, even though he referees their games in Saudi Arabia. And Newcastle, who, by the way, he was the ref last year at Newcastle with the ball over the line incident. That was Michael Oliver, the Newcastle fan, was allowed to ref our game. There's too much now, Lee. There's too much now.
Yeah, well, if you look back at that game, Jorginho was elbowed when he, but nothing done about that. Could have sent Kai Havertz off, but didn't. So, but there's other incidents there, and it's not just Arsenal. Let's get this right. As I said about Wolves, I'll go on to this scene. Bruno Fernandes got sent off when we know it wasn't a sending off, against Tottenham. Do you remember it? It got rescinded at the end of the day, but VAR didn't overrule it, but it was. We know that it wasn't a sending off. We know that, but it happened. Tottenham with the handball, it's a handball. They don't get it given. A week later, somebody else gets a handball and it's given. Not given, should I say? Liverpool have been on the end of horrendous things. I remember Harry Kane doing 100 times worse a tackle at Liverpool Spurs game, getting a booking, and a Liverpool player just went slightly over the top. Nowhere near as worse as Harry Kane, sent straight off with a red. And of course the offside one when they forgot to do the lines for that ball. But then again, they forgot to do the lines for us against Brentford. So it's not just Arsenal; it's every one of them. But what I've seen with Oliver over a course now of a few seasons, he does not referee Arsenal the same way he referees other teams. and he makes decisions against us that he lets off. And it's there in black and white from yesterday. Someone that doesn't know, and you put it on a ball and go, which one was a sending off and which one wasn't, everybody would go, well, that's a sending off, right? Not that one. And it wasn't. So for me, that what happened yesterday, when that incident came out, I didn't see that incident, Dan, to be honest, until I got home. And I was even more fuming then from that. Because, if you're sending a player off, you have got to do that. It's even worse. But that's how it is, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully, like, they won't feel too sorry for all the abuse he's getting and everything like that, and do the right thing and drop him for a game, because he deserves to be dropped for a game. Don't care what all the abuse he's got in, everything else like that. He deserves to be dropped for a game, and not on VAR, by the way. Out of it. Take your family away for a week, you know what I mean, and everything like that. Great, but do not be on a football field for a week, because you don't deserve it. But at the end of it, I will say this, you know what I mean. This abuse and threatening online has got to stop. There's got to be a line in the sand somewhere. And if it's a referee, a footballer, as you said, social media people and everything like that, it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
They got to bring something in my opinion, where you have to use social media by handing over your personal details, whether it's driving license, passport, and if that is not connected to your account, you can't use social media. They've got to do something like that so these people can be identified, because it is ridiculous that in this day and age in 2025, I can log on as Joe Blogs and call everyone to see you next Tuesday that I want. That should not be allowed.
Exactly. Listen, I had someone message me the other week. I can't remember where it was. I can't remember. I was saying this and just said, I just want to know how your cancer treatment's going. Right now, we know what's going on with AD at this moment in time and all that. Like, how anybody can just write something like that is beyond me. You know what I mean? I don't take it personally. I'm quite.
We're used to it a bit more now, I suppose.
Yeah,
but when it first started happening, I think we were a bit like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, you know what I mean, right? But like, some things I'm shocked. Like, you're bald-headed prick and all that. Like, well, maybe I am a prick, and I'm definitely bald, so I can take that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But things like that. But when they're saying things about family or about cancer and things like that, and when we've all got people in it, families or friends that are going through, I've got another mate that's going through cancer treatment this moment in time. It's so unnecessary, so out of order, but it's got to stop. It's got to stop. And I do think on social media, it should be like a thing now, like where you sign up to it, passport, address, and everything. Don't have to show your photo if you don't want to. I get that. But to open an account, you have to have passport identification, like you do in most other things. If you're a member of something, you know what I mean, you have to show it there so that people can, if you are wrong and you are thinking, you can be hunted down and all that. And in fact, like with the Kai Havertz one, the police can find it anyway, but it just prevention. Dan, is a little bit thing like if you've got, I know it's silly, if you've got your passport and you've got your fee, well, I better not do that just in case it comes back and bites me in the old. Like when you go football, like unless you're a foreign fan, you're not allowed to throw anything on the pitch, so you don't throw anything on the pitch. You know what I mean? Because if you do, you're going to get banned. It's the same sort of thing, like so. Not a lot of people do. There's always one or two that will. And go over the line, but then they get punished. So I think that prevention is a key thing.
Yeah, excuse me. Look, let's go into the game. Oh, excuse me, because it was not great in parts, Lee. Some positives. I thought there were some good players, and I thought there was some good opportunities for us. I thought there was some good play, if I'm honest. But I've got to bring up the front three again because we should have won quite convincingly, really. There was a few chances. Kai Havertz, again, I watched his performance and I just get sick and tired of him rolling around on the floor. I mean, he's definitely got enough grass stains, that lad, on his shorts by the end of the day, isn't he? He just rolls around. He's just, you remember when Drogba was like 6'4" and he just always on the floor. That's what he reminds me about. Difference is Drogba was a world-class player. This bloke ain't. He's far from it, in fact. He really does frustrate the hell out of me, Kai Havertz, I've got to say. Missing chances like that proves we need better, and he ain't going to win a shite. Trossard and Martinelli have been a bit better of late. If I'm honest with you, when we went down to 10 men, I think it's going to be difficult, but we dug in there. Declan Rice, deserves a mention. He's starting to look back to his best at the moment, in my opinion. I liked the fact that Neri started, and obviously he come off with a red card at the back for Party and the guys at the back. Fair play. I have to mention David Raya. I think he deserves a lot of credit. I think he's been fantastic for us actually this season. And if I'm honest with you, it was good to see Saliba back because I feel like we need him. I really do. So they're the ones that I would point out individually. But, and I'll say this, it's very different when you're at the game. And you were there, mate. So who shone for you and who was negatives and positives, I suppose, of the players?
No, I think Declan Rice shone for that. I think first things first, you have to, it was a good performance. If you look at it, or not a good performance, a good win. I think that's the way to look at it. It was a good win, considering you've got your best two players out in Martin Odegaard and Saka. I'm going to say, like, Kai Havertz, I thought, gets into the positions for the first header goes wide, unlucky. The second one's a wonderful, wonderful cross from Trossard. Wonderful cross. And the cross for Declan Rice. Declan Rice crosses it from a free kick, and Havertz you puts it over the bar. You've got to take those chances if you're the centre forward, like, you know what I mean. So he should have scored twice, in my opinion. Like, okay, the goalkeeper makes a decent save, but he heads it straight at him. I can give him a slight pass on that one because he's got it on target and made the goalkeeper save. But the other one, when he just puts it over the bar, when it, he should be doing better. Should be doing better. Got a problem because he's had 3 or 4 chances there, and he hasn't took one of them. As I say, I thought Trossard was quiet other than that, but sometimes it is moments in games like that you need to do. Martinelli's cross for the goal for Calafiori. What a wonderful finish by Calafiori, by the way. Was fantastic. Other than that, I felt that our front three were the weakest part of our game. If I'll be really, can I say that, weakest part? I didn't think that they really done it. But for me, thanks to Michael Oliver, he won us that game, because I don't know if we would have won that game if he hadn't done what he done and sent off. Because I felt that there was an injustice from the players to come out and make sure that he wasn't going to screw us again. I was in at half time, and I actually said at half time, like, you know what I mean? A couple of people in there going, I said, let's not make this as an excuse. Let's come out there and prove and win this game and do this. And I think that from everybody, the manager and all that, I think that they all done that. The fans were angry and got behind the team, and I think it was a really, really good performance. Up until the sending off of them, I felt that we was calculated. We looked defensive. We wasn't going to expose ourselves too much and then probably nick something. But I think that when we went 10 on 10, I think then we went, right, okay, let's step up now, and we did. And I felt that we was comfortable. Didn't like the one-on-one. I thought that was a little bit too easy over the top, and Raya made a good save from it there. But other than that, I didn't think they tested us that much. And but I think at the end of the day, Mikel got it dead on right. He got it dead right with the substitution, because I think there's a few people in the crowd thinking it may have been a little bit negative, Dan, like, by bringing on a defender and taking Wanyeri off. Could he have gone to a back three and all that? But in hindsight,
Calafiori come on and scored, so
Yeah. So you have to say, done. It was good from the manager. He got everything spot on. I felt that after the press conference, I think he said the right things as well. Sometimes saying nothing is stronger than saying something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Saying, look, I thought the goal was great. I thought it was good, and we got the goal we needed. kept the clean sheet. I will say Wolves had 2 or 3 chances. I thought they definitely should have gone 1-0 up with Sarabia and putting that over. I thought, crikey, how's he put that over the bar in the first half? But other than that, I was pretty impressed by what I saw. And, look, Wolves were needing that. And Cunha, luckily, he put one wide. Maybe he should have done better with that.
Yes, from
Um,
the corner. Yeah.
from the corner. So, so they had a couple of chances where they could have scored as well. What did you make of Cunha, by the way? Because obviously we're linked with him.
I looked at Cunha and I thought to myself, yeah, very, very good player, like him, but he's not what we want.
I agree. I think he's fine to come in alongside a striker, but he's not a number 9.
Now, if we signed a proper number 9, we went and signed Sesko or Vlahovic or Corcoran, and him on top of that, yes, you know what I mean? I would be very, very happy. But I think he's more of a Trossard sort of a player, Martinelli sort of a player, not even an Odegaard sort of a player before he's the centre forward. If I'll be really honest. If it's him or nobody, then I'm taking him, of course, you know what I mean? But I actually did think yesterday that he's not the priority. I would like to see him next season, in the team and in the squad. He'd be a very, very good player, but alongside a proper striker. Because I think if you look at it there yesterday, a proper striker, and I'm not having a go at Kai Havertz when I say this, because he's not a striker. I'm a proper number 9.
We score, yeah.
We scored 2 goals that day, you know what I mean? And we're 2-0 up, and we don't really have to worry about referees cheating and all things like that, but we're not clinical enough. And I felt at the end of the day that I'll give Trossard. I've actually didn't think that they were great on the day, but I've had a look back at their highlights and a bit of what I've seen, like extended highlights and all that. They've done all right. They've created chances for us and as wide players. Sometimes, that's their job as well as scoring. But I also felt that they both put in fantastic shifts when we was down to 10 men as well. So, and to be quite truthful, Havertz did as well. He put his body on the line, but when you're missing chances like that, you have to turn around and say that's not good enough. He gets in the right positions, and I'm going to give him credit for that. That he doesn't hide from missing chances, but. I'm just not convinced with him, Dan. I'm not convinced of him at this moment in time, So, listen, I think that Declan Rice yesterday just shows you everything that you need to know. I looked at Declan Rice yesterday, and I looked at him and I thought, you've been cheated out of a game of football here by the ref, and you're not going to let it happen. You're going to do everything in your power to make sure that we win this game. And I thought he was brilliant. I've got to say, Gabriel again, brilliant. Saliba up there. Timber, I thought, was back to his best yesterday. I thought he had a really good game. And realistically, I thought Thomas Partey quietly went about his business. Wanyeri looked okay. Didn't put up any trees in that position, if I'll be honest. And as you say, when it mattered, Raya made 2 very, very good saves. So, and I will say this, Dan, Wolves where they are, it's never easy. It's never been easy there. Every time we've played there, it's never been easy. It's not an easy place to go. It's a funny place to go, really. You've got the away fans all down the side, so it doesn't give you the hostile atmosphere. It's very clever how they do it. You've been there before, and also you've got sort of like, ain't a running track, but some sort of track in front of that before the pitch. You're well away from the pitch as well. So, they do a very good job of nullifying the away support.
Absolutely, they do. Yeah.
And so it's always a difficult place. So listen, at the end of it, we got and the other thing, I don't know if maybe you're watching at home and everything like that, and you're seeing what's going on. And then, Liverpool winning 3-0, 4-0. And there's a bit more pressure coming onto that game, Dan. You know what I mean? They must have known at half time that Liverpool had got the points in the bag already. So you have to give credit to the players there. I do think that Arsenal players could have folded yesterday and come round and said, "Oh, look, we've been conned out of this," and hid behind the fact of that decision.
No,
But
you're
they
right.
didn't.
It was good. It was good
They
that didn't
didn't.
happen, and we
Yeah.
fought in, we dug in, we got the 3 points, and that's exactly what we needed. Big up to the super chats from Suge. Big up Lee and Dan. Coincidence has it, I see Oliver back for our next league game because of who our opponents are. Yeah, God, I don't know what's going to happen with him next. O'Malley says Joe Linton's leg breaker on Atchu wasn't even a card. Do you know what this? I was thinking they were talking about how inconsistent the weekends were.
Yeah.
Unitel says, let's just go spend over the odds for 2 players now. Apart from Zubimendi, we don't need to buy in the summer. Let's talk a little bit about transfers. Before we do that, we have got 2 big games coming up. One of them is in the Champions League against Girona on Wednesday. The other one is obviously Manchester City League. Now, Manchester City have got to win midweek in Champions League. That's a must-win game for them. So they've got to go strong. Arsenal can afford to go strong against City if we rotate against Girona. Would you just play B-side against Girona and then go strength out against Man City, or would you have respect to try and win the game by just playing the strongest side, getting the job done and taking them all off?
No, what I would do is I would put a mix and match side out there. I would give a couple of certain players a rest. For this game, Kai Havertz gets a rest. You know what I mean? Like just take him out of the firing line for rest or drop him if you want to. Whatever way you want to say it, just take him out of this game. Make a decision. I'd put Martinelli down the middle. See how it would be like. Use this as a test. See what happens. Like I'd definitely give Sterling a run out. I think I would like to rest Trossard, but I think maybe I don't know. You could play Wanyeri out there or something like. You know what I mean? I like Lewis-Skelly has to play at this moment in time because he's not going to be available. So probably give Calafiori a run out now. He had 45 minutes, so perhaps him and Tierney sharing the load on that side of it all there. Saliba definitely leave out. And that's about it really, Dan. Maybe even you might think I'm silly here, giving Neto a little run out the last game, you know what I mean? Just making sure Raya's ready for Sunday as well. But I don't really know how important it is to win this game, to get higher up the pitch or whatever, the pitch higher up the league, you know what I mean? I think we could get second at a push, couldn't we? I don't know, but you're relying on other results. So just rest a few players, you know what I mean, as you say.
I think he will. I don't think he's going to go all out B team. I think he'll play Raya. I would rest Timber because he's the next one I think is going to get crocked, and I'll probably rest Saliba because he's only just come back. So maybe Kivior, Tierney, Calafiori, and Kivior all come in. And then you go with Jorginho and Lewis-Skelly, put him in midfield because obviously we've got him going to be out for
Jorginho, definitely.
Jorginho, and then obviously Nwaneri will have to come in at the moment because we've got no Odegaard unless he's back. And then Sterling gets the nod for me, Trossard and maybe Martinelli, unless you want to play the youngster. But that's what I'd probably do. And then you go into that Man City game with your best 11 and everyone's fresh. And then Man City have had to go midweek and it is at home, which is a bit of a shame. That Man City are at home. So, we'll see what happens there. Lewis-Skelly obviously could get his red card rescinded, but I just don't think they're going to because I just think they're going to be idiots, to be honest. So that's the way I see it. Look, I don't want to risk the facts. We are going to go through, but if we did lose heavily, then there is a chance that we don't go through.
We've got to be cautious, haven't we? Yeah.
We have, we don't want to go and get battered, but we're not going to by Girona, you'd like to think. So that's that one. And then we go into Manchester City. Look, I know they've started to pick up at the moment, Man City, but they still don't look quite good enough. Defensively, they look a little bit of a mess. I thought Chelsea were a shambles at parts yesterday. So I think for me, when you look at goalkeepers are absolute bozo, and the defence at Chelsea is just nowhere near good enough. And that's why they're not going to do anything this season. But when it comes to Arsenal, I think right now we could have a good game against Manchester City. And we have to beat them. We absolutely have to beat them. We have to shut Haaland up, tell him to be humble. We have to keep Foden quiet because he's coming onto the scene again now. We've got to make sure that Savio and Marmoush, are just come into the side and started to as their two new signings, that they're going to want to prove themselves. But we should be able to absolutely outrun and dominate that midfield against Manchester City. So that's why I believe we'll win the game. So that's where I'm at with it, mate. Quickly on Man City at the weekend.
Yeah, listen, I think it's interesting. Hopefully Odegaard will be back. I think he needed a break anyway. I think someone said in the chat, just reading it just there, I think it went through a bit quick, saying that, do you think he was dropped in that? No, I don't think he was dropped. I don't think we can afford to drop players completely out of the squad. So there must be a reason. I think Mourinho picked up a slight knock as well.
Yeah, Odegaard's ill and Marino's got a slight knock. That's what they said. So
yeah. So,
I don't know how long Odegaard's been ill for. I mean, crikey, he's been ill for about 6 months.
But it takes it out of you, Dan. I actually, I think Sophie put a photo of him, what he looked like in August to what he looked like now, and it looked like he didn't look well. So maybe just give him a few days up, and even if he is back fitness, I'll probably leave him at home, getting ready for Sunday. Because we got Wednesday, Sunday, it's a pretty good little turnaround and everything like that. Players would have had a day off today, and before coming back in. Listen, we've got to win this game. I think this game will be massively important for two things, Dan. The game on Saturday for Bournemouth versus Liverpool. If Bournemouth can get a result against Liverpool, that means that game's massive. If Liverpool win that game, it's massive as well. You know what I mean? So, listen, Liverpool have got, I wouldn't say a couple of dodgy weeks coming up, because I wouldn't say it's dodgy, but what they've got is, they've got Bournemouth to play. They've got Everton and Manchester City coming up in a run of a few games. So if Bournemouth were to get something, and I mean get something from them, if they were, and then maybe City can hit form against them, because City at this moment in time would still think that they've got an outside chance of winning it. They're only 6 points behind us. Beat Liverpool. Liverpool go on a dodgy run. That Liverpool might crumble a little bit more with Man City chasing them down than Arsenal. I don't know. So I think what's very, very important on Sunday, how I look at it, is for hopefully something happens in the Liverpool game. But if Liverpool win that game, forget about that game. Beat Man City, you're 9 points in front of them. You're not looking over your shoulder. Do you know what I mean? Then you can concentrate on trying to get Liverpool, So I think it'd be a good game. And hopefully we'll have enough to get the result, But I'm not going to lie. I'll be very, very keen on that Bournemouth Liverpool game as well. See what happens there.
100%. I will. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do some transfer news before we do close. We'll only be 30 seconds. We're linked, of course, with players still. Let's go through what we are linked with. Nico Williams, funny enough. We are apparently willing to pay the release clause of Nico Williams from Athletic. Now, it looks as if reports from Spain are suggesting that he's Arteta's number one that he wants in terms of a left winger. But I just don't see this one happening until the summer, if I'm honest with you, Lee. It doesn't look like he wants to leave Spain this month. Doesn't look like he's 100% set on Arsenal. And if that is actually to be the case, I think we need to move on from Nico Williams, to be fair. What's your thoughts on that, bruv?
Yeah, if we get him in the summer, we get him in the summer, you know what I mean? So I look at that and I get that, you know what I mean? If you can't get him, we need at least one. But if we were to get him and the centre forward, that would be fantastic. But is it going to be easier to do in the thing? Listen, you can get him. You can get you just make that release clause if he wants to come. If he's reluctant to come now, why would he be all happy about coming in the summer? You've got a chance of winning the league, chance of Champions League football. Not a lot what you're doing here. Ain't really pulling up many trees there. So that's a red flag for me straight away. If I'll be really honest.
I agree. I agree.
So
And again, no striker link there. But apparently we've won the race to sign Naipan in a deal worth £12 million from Rosenborg. It looks as if this one is the one that we're going to get done. Arsenal expect to complete the 12 million deal for the Norwegian wonder kid from Rosenborg. It'll be joining the Arsenal first team straight away. Talks are suggesting he's been at the Emirates and they're at an advanced stage. Look, attacking midfielder, apparently. I don't know enough about him, if I'm honest with you. But Ornstein has confirmed that we're in advanced negotiations with him. Look, it's not the sort of signing I want, Lee. I can't lie. I want a striker. I want a forward. If he's going to come in and attack in midfield to try and get the place of Odegaard and Waneri, then fair play. But is that something we really needed this window? Not for me.
no. But that's not. You know what I mean? Like, there's not means it's not a bad sign. That's good for the future. You've got to look for the future as well. Get things in place for 2-3 seasons down the line. So I've got no problems with that whatsoever. I get what you're saying. You want to, like, if the big centre forward comes in and that signing is good, everybody's a little bit more happy. But you've got to look at it in context of it. It's got nothing to do with strikers and all that. It's for the future, that one. And yeah, get him, because like what I'm hearing reports are, he's very, very good. And you know, like look for the future will be bright with us as well when you look at it with the likes of, if we do get him, you know, Waneri, Miles Lewis-Skelly. So we've got some players, you know, young players, and you need to do that as well, Dan. You need to do that. But as I say, it's not going to be exciting, and it'll be a little unfair on the kid as well if everybody's looking at that as always a big signing like. But sometimes a little signing like under their radar ain't too bad. Look, we bought, I remember Aaron Ramsey for about 5 million. You know, no one was going mad about it, but it turned out to be a very, very good signing. So I'm happy with those sort of ones. But I know what you're saying. Like, you need the bigger ones to go on top of that as well. Like, you know, I do think Arsenal will do something. I'm pretty sure they will do. Listen, if they don't, then we will just fall short of winning the league, short of everything, and we just have to get on with it. Like, you know what I mean? I will say this though. I don't know how you feel about it, but after watching them on Saturday, I do feel a little bit more connected to them again. I felt that, you know, they put in a shift on Saturday. They're not going to, you know, that. Listen, those players know that they probably need a forward as well, Dan, but they didn't give up on themselves, and that, you know. So I'm not going to give up on them quite yet, like, you know, as well. I'm going to back them, but if we don't get somebody, I do fear us not being quite good enough to catch Liverpool and obviously win the Champions League as well.
Fair play, man. Look, the last thing to talk about is that Sesko, who has been spoken about for quite some time now. It has come out today, suggested by TalkSport, that Sesko would prefer a move to Arsenal over Chelsea or United, but Leipzig do not want to sell the 21-year-old this window. Now, I keep seeing this and I keep hearing this, and if I'm honest with you, I'm getting a bit bored of it, if I'm honest. I don't think we're signing anyone this window. I think we're signing everyone in the summer. And I think that's why we're trying to announce that Zubamendi's happening. I think that's why we're trying to announce subtly that Sesko, yeah, we're trying, but he's the one we want. We're not going to buy anyone. It's him or no one. And that'll be a summer move. And that's why I don't think we're going to get anybody. And this Nipan guy might come in, and that'll be it. So again, I think it'll be a window that lacks ambition and lacks any form of kind of want or passion or drive or desire to get us across the line. So I've accepted we're going to have a bit of a bad window. Well, it's going to be bad anyway. Even if we bring someone in now, it's still pathetic because it's the 27th of January tomorrow. But anyway, just lastly, what do you think about that before we do the super chats and close?
Yeah, listen, you know, what can I say? You know, I think we do. I think, you know, my heart says that we will do something, like, you know what I mean? I don't think we just buy them. I think we will do. I think we know we got to, Dan. I really do. Come on. We know we got to. You know, realistically, what attacking force did we have on the bench yesterday? That's all we had. Nothing else.
That's enough according to our club.
Well, it isn't really because, like, and you just think like it only takes one more player to go out, and we're in a real trouble. So
I think it's a disgrace if we
the
do
thing
that.
is with Sesko, I think also, like, you know what I mean, like, let's be honest. You're hearing about what they're saying. They ain't gonna want to sell. Why would they want to sell? You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to
Yeah.
come out and go, yeah, we want to sell, are they? They're going to turn around and go, well, no, we don't really want to sell. But you've got to make them. It's like if you got, like, I'm quite happy in my house, Dan. Like, I don't know about you. I don't really want to move. But if someone offers me like silly money for it, and knocks on my door and said, oh, like, I want to give you 50,000 more than what it's worth. Well, all right, where's the removal firm? You know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm saying? But if they come here and say to me, "Oh, we give you the same money," you've got to force the
Got to
move.
tempt them, and you got to
Yeah,
tempt them to sell. And look,
yeah,
if they don't want to sell, I get it, right? They don't want to sell. He's one of their better players, right? But you've got to do that. When I get frustrated is when people say they're not available. These players, yes, they are available. Yeah, Manchester City was Marmoush available. Well, he signed for him. Did they want to sell him? Frankfurt,
yeah.
best
Probably not.
player, best player by far, scored all their goals, and he's gone to Man City. Why? Because they paid the money.
Yeah,
Paid the
yeah,
money, Lee. I don't care what anyone says. Kvaratskhelia at Napoli. PSG said they're 63 million. Napoli said, cool. Like with
yeah,
us, we're trying to get, we're going to loan him. No, oh, we just won't get anyone. There's no one available then. Let's move. Like, it's just pathetic. And like, who is doing these transfers, by the way? Does anyone know how the club's working? I don't. I don't have a bloody clue. The Cronkies are too bothered about the LA Rams losing, so they've probably got the right ump at the moment. Got Jason Ato's taken over from Edu, who's never bought one player or sold one player for Arsenal, by the way, but being told he's doing a great job behind the scenes. Of course, he's doing a great job. He's spending no money. Bloody lovely. What the Cronkies are thinking. This is lovely job this bloke's doing. He's not selling any of our funds. It's brilliant. Honestly, I do not understand what's going on. This is the problem. In the like Lone Star London, no clue. Potsy's got no clue. Have you? Do you know how it all works then? Please tell me how it's going to work. Please tell me how we're going to win the league this season and the Champions League via the squad we've got. I'm all ears. I'm all ears. Please tell me, because we ain't going to. I think you're deluded, son. If I'm honest with you, if you think this squad's good enough to go and win a Champions League or a Premier League with what we've got, Sterling on the bench. And if we go and sign Rashford, by the way, who's definitely leaving Manchester United after Amorim's
Oh,
comment
can you believe
today.
that today?
Well, good. Oh, that's what I've been saying about this Trashford kid for about 6 years. The kid is an absolute. There's something wrong with him upstairs, mate. And this guy's known. I'd rather play my goalkeeping coach than him. That's what he said.
Well, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? That's no way
He's
of trying
outed
to
him,
get.
basically. He said,
Yeah.
see you later. And if we pick up that, mate, I am sorry, but I am completely wiping my hands of Arsenal Football Club from ownership level right away through to management. If we okay that signing, that is an absolute disgrace to bring in Sterling in the summer and Rashford in January. And people say to me, our ownership doesn't lack ambition to get us across the line. I think it'd be an absolutely disgusting decision if we go and get someone that Man United have just outed as not being mentally strong enough for their squad. And they're in 15th, whatever it is. 13th are they? Well, they won today. They must have gone up to 12th now. So when you look at it, it is just not good enough, mate. And I know you were like at the start, you were talking about potentially. Surely you've changed your mind now on that after all this coming out about Rashford. That you
Well,
can't
no,
be.
it don't. It don't. It's not a good sign, is it? But again, I'm going to say it now. I'd rather have him than nothing. Because we're in trouble if we don't, But I think we'd be in trouble if we get him anyway. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, I think we will. I think it's just it's crazy. To be fair, it's Spurs who are 15th. Jay, sorry, mate, I'm getting confused. I know they're all both.
well, it could be worse. We could be Spurs fans, couldn't we? Like, come
Oh
on.
my words! Have you seen how hilarious that
Oh
that
my
club is?
God.
They
You know
are
what I
an
mean?
absolute disgrace. They're so
1-0
bad.
up at half time, cruising. And then, like, they were 2-1 down in 5 minutes, like, you know what I mean? Unbelievable, like,
I'll read you a hilarious tweet out. Big up to Albert, right? He sent me this. I don't know if he sent it to you, Judge, right? This is the funniest tweet that I've seen. Big up to Steve, right? N5 Steve. He said, "There's no pleasing these Tottenham fans. 7 months ago, they wanted to see their team get beaten, so Arsenal didn't win the league. Now they see it every week and they're moaning about it." What a legend. Absolute hero. Look, Adge is in trouble. I can't believe he's still there. And at the moment, they're 8 points from safety. They haven't won a game since the 1st of December, I think it is. Or is it actually November or October where they've won? Can't remember. It's unbelievable that they actually are in a relegation battle, even though they're not going to go down. It's scary. It really is. But that's the Spursy for you, mate. That's Spursy for you. So yeah, it's mad, really, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. This comes in these last super chats. Where are we from? Danny, big up to you, bro. It says, while I don't think the refs are corrupt, it's clear to see that Arsenal have the shortest leash when it comes to 50-50 decisions. Look, there's a lot of people saying they aren't corrupt, but it's not they aren't corrupt. Stop. O'Malley says, odd both teams this week are part of the City group. Yeah, funny that. Gunatel says, just bloody get Nico and Sesko now for over the odds. Who else do we need? This is the thing. Like, I'm all for buying players in the summer, and I want us to, but can we buy some players now as well? That's what I don't get.
I'm with you. I'd rather blow all our budget now. If you said to me, "Oh, we're only going to buy Zuma Mendy in the summer," I'd be happy with that. If we bought 2 forwards now, would you?
100%. I don't want to wait. What are we waiting to the summer for? Yeah. Why are we waiting to the summer? Like, oh, this season's done. Because to me, Lee, we are basically waving the white flag if we don't sign anyone this season. That's what we're doing.
The only thing I will say on the thing is, like, you know, I was talking to Spurs fans today and all that. Like, they're desperate for players. Everybody seems to want players. No one's going to get anybody yet. It just seems very, very hard. Apart from Man City, another team, but a lot of teams haven't done anything yet. Like, you know what I mean? I see. Who was like Aston Villa manager? Like Emery was saying that he wants to bring in players, wants a central defender, and blah 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 blah. So it's going to be a busy week coming up now, and I don't, you know, we don't know the ins and outs of these transfer thing. But why is it always the last week where everything works? If it's always only the last week, what's the point of having it open for 5 weeks? Why just do it for a week? Everybody goes to the end of the week and buys everybody. We'll just have it 1 week and just get it over and done with.
Oh, it's just a joke, mate. It really is. No, I'm with you. I hate the transfer window, and I know that we do a lot on it, and I understand we have to as part of our job. I cannot wait for it to shut. I hate it. Honestly, I can't stand it.
I can't stand it. I like, you know what I mean?
No, I can't. You get all these like people start coming out and all that. What is it? Darmesh and Carver. Fair play to them. That's their job. But I turn them off when I see them.
I can't watch it. Like,
I cannot deal with it,
mate. My nerves. 5 o'clock comes on, whatever.
Unbelievable. Off it goes. Last super chat of the night from Suge. Big up to you, mate. It says, it wasn't it Arteta who said he only wants players who want to be here. All accounts is Williams prefers Spain. Short-term striker to look at is, oh, yes, this guy from Celtic. I'm not going to try and butcher his name. I know exactly who you mean. Cheap and get us to the summer. Well, this is the thing. I mean, I see West Ham going through Duran. I would have taken Duran. I see that Napoli are going for Kvaratskhelia. Sorry, PSG have signed Kvaratskhelia. I would have taken him. More than happy to have Omar Marmoush. There's a release clause of Williams, Osimhen, and Gyökeres. More than happy to have them. This transfer window, as Turkish says, is delicious. And we ain't interested in tasting, let alone eating. Trust me. Absolutely crazy. Okay, listen. Big up to you all, people. Thank you so much for being here. There's nearly 900 of you in here tonight. That's unbelievable numbers. Make sure you do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe. Make sure you're following both this channel and Football's 12th Man. And we will be back in the morning. Lee, I'll let you have the last word, mate.
Yes, disappointment today for me. Like, the Washington Commanders got absolutely smashed by the Eagles. So congratulations to them. You know, we needed to be good today. But we made so many mistakes, and we've actually got pumped. Absolutely, like, it's like we probably lost about 5-0 in the semi-final of the Champions League. That's how it looks like today. So, fly Eagles, fly. Get rid of him, Dan, please. Not that I'm bitter.